One of the things that I hear consistently from people is that the market is going to continue to drop. Comic values are going to continue going down. They very well could be right about that. We could see an additional 10 to 20% decline in the overall market. Who knows what's actually going to happen in the future? What I will encourage you to do is to think about what they're actually saying and then translate that into actual numbers. Had a conversation with somebody recently about a book, and they said that this book could go down another 10 to 20%. When you translate it into numbers, that's somewhere between $40 and $89 for this specific book. That's not necessarily material when you look at how the book has declined in value from a year ago to where it is today. An additional 10 to 20% is not necessarily material when you look at the 90% drop that the book has already experienced. So you have to put these numbers in context. The other part of it is this. A lot of folks are trying to time the market. They are trying to find the absolute bottom so that they could buy every single comic as cheaply as they possibly can. The reality is that the market itself doesn't necessarily move in one way all the time. All comics aren't suddenly going to drop across the board another 50%, right? You're going to have some books that are going to be up, some that are going to be down, right? But this idea of trying to time the market is something that I really don't think could happen. When you look at the stock market, they have up to the second, like near real-time data on how the stock market is performing because of the sheer number of transactions that take place every single second. It's impossible to predict the market. It's impossible to know exactly where the bottom will be in the stock market, and they have near real-time data, right? You cannot predict it. How can you predict the comic book market if you cannot predict the stock market, given that they have much better data? All of our data is in hindsight. All of our data is days to weeks old by the time we actually see it. So how do you find the bottom? You find the bottom after the book has already recovered, weeks later. Right? So this idea of finding the absolute bottom in order to actually get in is something that I really do not think is possible, yet it's something that people continue to talk about. People jump on board with a book when it's hot, when people are paying attention to it, when prices are going up. That's when we want to jump on it. That's not where you make money. That's not where you build a collection. You build a collection by picking up awesome books for as little as possible. And if you look at where the comic book market was a year or 2 years ago, we are at the bottom point. Is it the absolute bottom? Who knows? But it's incredibly low versus where it was. And potentially now is the time to build an amazing comic book collection if you have the ability to be contrarian.